2021 Northern Talent Cup, one of the newest paths on the road to MotoGP, created with the goal of giving riders from Northern and Central European countries a new opportunity to further their careers and follow their dreams of being a motorcycle racer. It's on identical KTMs on some of Europe's most spectacular tracks across Germany, Austria, France and the Netherlands this season, including on some of the biggest stages like here this weekend alongside MotoGP for round 3. So far it's a tale of two riders, as Lawrence Luciano started the year on top before a magnificent 3 wins in a row for Jakub Górecki, including a masterclass at Oschersleben last time out where he pulled away in race 2 to underline his wet weather prowess once again, which leaves him as the man to beat as we get ready to race here in Germany. And it's race 1 about to get underway at the unique, tight and twisty Sachsenring. Hello und herzlich willkommen on Sachsenring. I won't do the whole thing in German. Race 1 then of the 2021 round 3 of the Northern Talent Cup about to get underway. And the sun is shining, for many maybe a little bit too much, but we're suited, booted and ready to race this unique venue here in Saxony. I'm Fran Wild and alongside me this weekend is Elliot York. And we're ready to talk you through another weekend of KTM powered close racing for the NTC. And I said about the weather, it is nice and sunny, but we have a few more clouds now. It's quite muggy. How are you, Elliot? How are you feeling about this race?
Yeah, we're just seeing the Red Bull rookies do battle at the Sachsenring, and what a race it was. So hopefully we've got more of the same coming in the Northern Talent Cup as well, Fran. Yes, hello everybody. Good afternoon. It is scorching here this weekend at the Sachsenring. 32 degrees. You might have seen it pop up on your screens there. Really, really hot for these riders to contend with. But yeah, like you say, we've got a few clouds in the sky. Hopefully there's no rain coming.
Well, you say hopefully, maybe not the thoughts of this man. After the last 3 races, he's absolutely dominated in the wet, has Jakub Górecki. Really incredible stuff from the number 59. But as you can see on your screens as well, in the dry, he's also on pole here and with quite a margin, more than half a second clear. So that pace not having gone anywhere in the dry. But this man is the closest on the chase. Started the year with a win, veteran from last year as well, runner-up last year overall in the Cup. And it looks pretty in the zone there, does Lawrence Luciano.
Yeah, he does. Big race coming up for Lawrence Luciano. He won the opening race of the season, then came second, 10th place at the first race. First race at the Oschersleben. Has cost him some points in the title race. He finished second in race 2, so he is the closest challenger to Jakub Górecki.
He is indeed. Yeah, just that one blip really. It was a bit of an unfortunate one after he'd once again looked like he was going to beat the man to at least try and challenge Górecki. But other than that, in the other 2 races where he had kind of his hand forced and he had to take second with the incredible pace of the Czech rider, he did a very good job of understanding that if you're second, it doesn't actually matter if he's 20 seconds ahead of you or a 10th. If those 20 points are what you need and what you can achieve, then just keep it on the road and bring it home. But we just saw a second ago as well, Rossi Moore, 3rd on the grid this time, not on pole for the Hungarian, but he's very fast once again this weekend and could be one to watch. After joining the Northern Talent Cup this year, so fast in pre-season testing, and then we had suddenly rain or damp, certainly in the first race at Le Mans, seems to have kind of, you know, got in the way of his charge somewhat. So I think it'd be interesting to see what he can do over race distance. And Kaz Beekman's in 4th before we head to this man here.
Yeah, 5th place on the grid. Jakob Horschuk.
I think this is what me and Matt had settled on.
Getting it wrong.
It is like we've said a couple of times in broadcast. Some of these names are a challenge. The German language ones I can usually manage, but we will try our best, dearest viewers.
Yes, I've been trying that all afternoon and I still got it wrong, so I don't think I've got any hope. But yes, middle of the second row for Horschuk, so hopefully he can have a good race for his sake. He's 0.002 seconds behind Beekman's in 4th place, so I think the battle for at least the podium is going to be very close, along with Martin Vince, who we've just seen on the outside of the second row.
Yeah, and you can see that age 11, there's some youngsters in this field, but Górecki there, they're looking very, very focused already. And I think that may be Lennox Famara, who is now, unfortunately, at the back of the grid. It is indeed the number 48, the Swiss rookie. A podium in the wet in Oschersleben, really impressive stuff from him. But unfortunately, unfortunately, he was found to be underweight after qualifying, and he will start from the back. And to compound that a little bit, it's not just for this race, I think it will also be for tomorrow. It really wasn't much. It was, I think, 1.5 kilos or something. Rules are the rules, unfortunately. Probably something to do with the heat a little bit. With yeah, previously they've raced in sort of 11 degrees at Oschersleben in the rain, so a bit of a different hydration situation this weekend, I think, for us as well. You'd agree?
Absolutely agree, yeah, with that, Fran. Yeah, it's going to be a difficult weekend for Famara, but it's going to be a learning curve as well. Obviously, these guys are starting their pathway to, hopefully, the MotoGP World Championship, Moto3.
Did you just rebrand the road to MotoGP as a pathway?
The road to MotoGP. Yeah, so if he can, he's had a good season so far, 4th, 6th, 3rd, 4th, so he's been very consistent in wet weather. So yeah, in the dry weather, now he's just got to try and get his head down, do the best he can. And yeah, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges for Famara, he looked quite emotional when he took that podium in Germany. I think it's always in Germany, in Germany again, at Oschersleben, I shall specify. I think it's going to be quite a challenge more mentally than anything else, knowing that it's kind of a technicality, but like I said, the rules are the rules. But it must feel just like, oh, I'm at the back, and he knows he wasn't the slowest. He's not, you know, he's not making his debut this weekend, coming in with zero experience at all. He is a rookie, but I think, yeah, it's that mental uphill battle maybe a little bit for the Swiss rider at the back. So we'll see in a minute, apparently. We're very nearly ready to go, or ready to race, should we say, to borrow a phrase from our friends at KTM. So here we have then the starting grid. On row 1, we've got Goretzky, Luciano and Rossi Moore. And then we have Kaz Beekmans, Hostjuk, Vince, Kotzarek, Kitzbichler and Herrlich. Quite a good qualifying for Valentino Herrlich there in 9th on home turf here. So good stuff from him. Then Noel Willemsen, Varga, Molik. And then row 5.
Yeah, row 5 is Schneider, Veneman and Farkas. Row 6 is Bossenkohl, Bartucha and Rohrig.
Yeah, we've got a couple of things on our timing screen that maybe Willemsen and Bossenkohl won't start. I'm not sure if that's a graphics error or if that will be the reality once we get overway. But there's the last few guys then on the grid. A couple of Germans back there who'll be looking to make some progress at this second round on home turf, and certainly Lennox Famara after that that podium experience that he's had now. Just needs to keep a nice clean head and move through and see if he's got the pace to make some good progress here. So here we go then, off to have our, well, not first look at the Sachsenring today, but just have a last little peek around this track before we really hit turn 1 at racing speed. And yeah, look, you can see in the background there, it now says cloudy on the graphic, not sunny, and is looking a little bit threatening there behind those windmills.
Yeah, I just peered closer to the screen. I couldn't tell if it was just blue sky or if it is quite dark over there. I think it is quite dark over there, so hopefully the rain stays clear and the NTC riders can get a first dry race of the season underway. But yeah, it should be a good race, Fran. Goretzky, the clear favourite, 0.5 seconds ahead of the pack in qualifying. Qualifying was around about the same time yesterday. I think it was a little bit later in the day in scorching conditions as well.
Yeah, I love this that you see Rossi Moore absolutely tagged onto the back there of the number 59, the championship leader. And yeah, I mean, it's obviously an impressive performance from Goretzky, not just in the wet, also we've seen him have dry weather pace last year. It's by no means that he's a specialist just in one type of condition. But yeah, I think it's probably filled him with quite a lot of confidence to have that same edge in the dry. But we saw Rossi Moore have such a huge edge as well, especially at Le Mans in qualifying, but then mainly in the test at Oschersleben. He looked like he was going to literally disappear in every single race. So it's not always going to play out exactly how you expect, but Goretzky, like you say, for sure must be the favourite here.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's motorcycle racing, isn't it? And it's impossible to predict at the best of times. So it's by no means a foregone conclusion that the number 59 there, Jacob Goretzky, is going to win this race. The riders on the front row and everyone else will be trying to beat him to close him down in the championship, no more so than the Lorenz Luciano. So yeah, we're about to get this one underway as the riders roll up to their starting grid slots.
So we're looking across at them where we can see sunshine, but obviously the grey is a little bit behind us. We'll we'll wait then for everyone to line up. I think we're almost there now. A couple of stragglers just making their way in. So yeah, we do have an empty grid slot there then. So the red flag moves away and the lights will come on. And then eventually they will go out and we're underway then here at round 3. Looks like a pretty good start from Górecki from pole. No dramas for him at all. More just losing out a little bit it seems, but I think he's going to take the inside line. Yes, indeed. So the Hungarian, just like he was on the warm-up lap, on the tail of Górecki now then. And Luciano, pretty good job there in 3rd, but already a little bit under attack is the Belgian.
Oh, what have we got here?
We have some real drama then, obviously, for a couple of guys. We didn't see it there on the first shot round on the live. Hopefully they're okay. Looks like Ryder okay, just a little bit of a tangle, so hopefully we'll get an update on that soon. But at the front then, it looks like Górecki already getting the hammer down a bit, but you can see the number 92, that yellow machine of Rossi Moore, just able to stay with him at the moment, and there's a little bit of a clear sky back to Luciano. So I think that looks like definitely Ryder up and okay. But yeah, we'll have to get an update on who exactly that was as well as soon as we find out.
Did you see Rossi Moore coming down the hill there, absolutely full leaned over, and he's keeping tabs on the race leader Górecki, who got the perfect getaway from pole position, but Rossi Moore is keeping tabs on him. As we go down the waterfall for the first time, we've already got a lead group of 5 breaking clear. Is that Rossi Moore going up the inside? It is, but not quite this time
tempted, didn't
around.
he? Yeah, the number 92 then looking racy, as we always hate to say when we're talking about racing. But still, yeah, the number 92 looking very, very keen to, if nothing else, really put some pressure on Górecki in the early stages. So I think the 2 riders then involved in that incident at the start were Rio Olofsson and Corbinian Brandel, the number 93. And it says crashed out and riders okay, and Olofsson at least is back in this race, I think, at the back. So that's some good news. And we've got more then attacking for the lead.
Yeah, a change of the lead then at the start of lap 2, 17 laps to go. Rossi Moore diving up the inside at turn 1 and into the lead past Górecki. So this is what they've got to do. Górecki, like we said, showed really good pace in qualifying. He got the perfect launch from pole, but Rossi Moore's done really well, and the chasing trio have done really well to latch onto the back of him, and Rossi Moore's now overtaken him into the lead from 3rd on the grid.
He has, yeah, so good stuff then from the Hungarian. I believe this will be the first time he's led in the NTC since his good launch from pole in Le Mans before disaster. There we go then. Oh, bit of a tangle for those guys. But both riders okay, like we said, we've heard that. So not too much harm done. It gets close at the start, especially that turn 1 here is a little bit difficult for so many bikes to navigate. But good job for the most part. And like we said, at least Olofsson seems to have rejoined the race. But more then, back to the front. Looks like Górecki's also pretty keen to make a move, but the Hungarian doing a really, really good job so far here. Is the number 59 going to attack though? Maybe, yep, he does. Slides back through then into the lead. Good stuff from Górecki, obviously pretty keen to stay ahead of the game here. And Hoschuk as well, good start from the Romanian. This is more what we expect to see of him, certainly.
Yeah, that was the classic Sachsenring turn 12 manoeuvre down the hill, got a bit of slipstream, pulled up the inside, late on the brakes, but made the apex. So yeah, very good from Górecki, your new race leader, as we get a trio of fastest laps. The fastest of them all is 4th place at Beekman's.
Yeah, it is indeed. So the Dutchman at the moment then, not so much kind of one of the names you'd usually put in the pot for the podium fight along with these guys. Obviously has been fast and shown some impressive pace in the Northern Talent Cup, but the likes of Górecki, Hoschuk, Luciano certainly already real veterans of the podium in this cup, and more with that pace in testing announced his presence already. So great stuff from the number 68 of Cas Beekmans to be with these guys at the moment. And Górecki then, there's a little bit of daylight there, back to the number 6. I love that white livery on Hoschuk's bike, really nice, and it makes our jobs very easy as well. The red, white and then yellow is nice, isn't it?
It is, and what a move by the number 6 of
cheeky.
Hoschuk. What a move at the bottom of the hill. That's also in the classic Sachsenring manoeuvre. So yeah, the young athletes here are getting busy with 16 laps to go, and they are disrupting the number 59 Górecki's rhythm. So this is great racing from the quintet. Yeah,
so I think probably a little bit aware then that Górecki's role, really, they have to put a stop to it at some point. Rossi Moore says, I will try and do that, and also for everyone else, as the Hungarian takes back the lead. So really close stuff at the moment then in the opening few laps here. Compared to what what we've seen in the wet, where everyone sort of took their time a little bit to find their feet behind Goretzky. This is a really close race so far. Rossi Moore looking very confident. Hostruck looking to make a move. I don't know if he will make that happen at the inside. Will he? Maybe not. Nope, for the moment then. Oh, but there you go. A little bit later on the brakes on the outside line then from Goretzky, and he's back into the race lead. Great stuff from him. And one of the guys, was it Beekmans or Luciano, just had a little bit wide there.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Fran, but you could clearly see Goretzky later on the brakes there, couldn't you? Got on the brake, dived up behind the bubble, and still made the apex. So yeah, very good from your race leader once again. Goretzky, who's now starting to stretch clear in the first sector. They'll just want to keep an eye on that, want to keep tabs on him. We've mentioned a lot of times already about his pace in the dry that he showed in qualifying. As we see, the top 5 are now 2.6 seconds clear of the chasing
there's already
pack,
a bit of a gap there, isn't there? So obviously the Northern Talent Cup, all of the talent promotion Road to MotoGP programs aimed at finding young riders and giving them a shot at becoming a professional rider and moving on the road to MotoGP. It's all focused on progress, learning, talent, etc. So there's guys maybe in 15th who will make a really big splash because of the progress they make throughout a season, but sometimes, especially in the NTC so far this year, there have been a few guys who just seem to have that edge at the moment. So they'll be the next guys to try and make a new step up on their careers, and Goretzky certainly staking a claim on him being one of them, but more too, after some mini biking in the United States, has definitely made a good transition to these KTMs here, and I wouldn't be surprised if the number 92 attacks again here. Pretty aware that Goretzky is the fastest man of the weekend so far.
That's exactly what he's done, from right up the inside, down the straight, got in the slipstream. Goretzky incidentally set the fast lap of the race. As the number 45 in Lennox Famara.
Oh no, another heartbreak then. Yeah, for the poor Swiss rookie then, it looks like he's out of this race. So looks like rider okay, not sure if that's a technical problem. We've not seen any crash come up on the screen or on a replay or anything, so maybe just a bit of an issue for him. But yeah, it stopped with mechanical problems then. So that's a real heartbreaker for him, and hopefully then tomorrow will be a little bit of a better day. But like we said at the start of the broadcast, unfortunately it'll be from the back of the grid again. But here back with the leading group then, that gap's come down again. We had seen the front 3 just make a little bit of daylight, but now it looks like Luciano got the hammer down a little bit. Beekman's still doing a good job to hang in with these guys, and Hostruck through again. The Romanian not hanging about today.
It's a fantastic move up the hill into turn 10. We saw it a lot in the Red Bull Rookies Cup races. We won't spoil anything if you want to watch that later. But yeah, a very, very good move from Hostruck, and now he's going to take the lead down the hill from Rossi Moore. So moments ago he was P3, Hostruck's now P1. With little over 14 laps to go.
Yeah, it's some good racing from these guys at the front then. Moore again looks very, very keen to lead here. I think you can see a couple of these guys got different strengths at different parts of the track and just trying to kind of get that space to set their own pace. But it wouldn't surprise me then if we're going to go all 5 abreast, maybe not 5-4. How is this going to shuffle out? I think, yep, Rossi Moore then just able to tip it in and stay ahead there. Goretzky trying to go around the outside, but I don't think he's quite made that work. And these guys then, it's now Nicholas Kitzbichler, who's just ahead of this trio, fighting it out for 6th at the moment. Kitzbichler, pretty good season so far for him, and this is more what we'd expect to see from him. So yeah, nice fight for 6 between those guys, but at the moment, still a 5-rider train fighting for this win.
Yeah, where's... yeah, he's in 4th place. I was just going to mention we've not mentioned Lorenz Luciano so far much this race, but he's just sitting there in 4th, patiently waiting, the number 81 on the black bike, just ahead of another black bike. But yes...
yeah, Beekman's now finding some pace this weekend, makes that a little bit more complicated. Yeah. At times with 81 versus 6, just black versus white, super easy to see for us, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought I'd specify that it's the first of the black bikes, not the second one. The number 81 is green is second in the championship, with obviously the number 9 just ahead of him, first in the championship, and the gap is 24 points between them. So it's an important race, even though it's very early in the season. It's an important race. Oh, contact! I think that was between...
That was Hostruck, I think, just giving a little rub to Luciano. So speak of the devil, and he will get a little bit of a tap there. But yeah, so good job from the Belgian rider to keep that upright and not get too discombobulated. I think he's going to give it him straight back here then, right alongside Hosjuk. Oh, elbow out. Come on, lads. Come on, let's keep it clean. And slot back in. Just take a breath and stay calm. But Goretzky then straight back through to lead there. These two at the moment look very, very comfortable. And yeah, obviously Hosjuk and Luciano there, a little bit of spice early on. Yeah,
definitely a little bit of added spice. But yeah, the contact and the scrapping has ultimately cost them a few tenths and a little bit of a gap to form between Goretzky, Rossi Moore and Hosjuk. So they've got to get their head down. There's still 12 laps to go. A lot of time left in this race, over half race distance. So yeah, get your heads down, boys, and focus on trying to recatch these lead two, who have now got a good half-second lead over the man in third place. Yeah,
Hosjuk, I'm sure, will be keen to get the hammer down and try and catch them back up. Obviously here, a little bit different at the Sachsenring. You've not got sort of a whole kilometre and a half straight to really slipstream your way back to the group ahead. Looks like they have closed in though, just a little bit. Oh, again, we're going to get a duel here, aren't we? And maybe for the lead, no way through for Rossi Moore at the moment then. But yeah, like we were saying about Luciano, especially when we've got this 5-rider fight at the moment, compared to some of the races in the wet where we've had sort of 59 of Goretzky, 81 Luciano, and at the moment Kutzarek as well, who's just struggling a little bit more here at the Sachsenring in the dry than he had done in the last couple of races. If you sort of make a mistake, you've got a while in a wet race like we had to sort of make up that ground, and you know, like you say, you can just take that second place. It doesn't matter actually how far off the lead you are. It's a good 20 points in the bag. Here though, with so much chopping and changing between the 5 of them, it could really affect the standings a lot if Goretzky were to win and Luciano end up 5th or vice versa. But yeah, there is a long way to go in the season yet though, and there's a long way to go in this race, which is now led by Rossi Moore once again.
Yeah, and just touching upon the third place man, Hosjuk, he has pulled in that gap very, very well. He's got his head down like we said he needed to do, and he's got them back in the sights. I think he might even try and grab some slipstream up the hill and down the waterfall. I think he's closer now. And yeah, Rossi Moore has retaken the lead, like you said, Fran. He's given it to the number 59 of Jacob Goretzky, your pole sitter, as number 6 Hosjuk really has closed in. He's going to be in slipstream, and I think he might fancy a move up into turn 12.
He looks like he's going to arrive and attack, doesn't he? Kind of.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go then. Are we going to get 3 wide? Not quite. No, it's Goretzky in the end then that makes a move, and the Romanian just staying in 3rd place. But yeah, very much once again back in the leader's postcode. But yeah, more than probably costed them a little bit of time with that move. Goretzky not too much with that one, but it looks like that concertina is just closed up once again, because Luciano as well, he's managed to get a little bit closer to Hosjuk ahead of him again. So yeah, I think at the moment we're still safely in a 5-rider fight for the lead, a lead that Rossi Moore's going to go for again, but Goretzky is so strong around there, and this time is pretty much a carbon copy there. You see, it just cuts back ahead and retains the lead.
So strong on the brakes, isn't he, Goretzky, the Czech rider? You can understand why he's finished first in his last 3 races. He's expert on the brakes. But yeah, the guys are doing well to keep tabs at the minute. As Rossi Moore looks to probably try and retake the lead on this last lap. We're seeing moves every time down the hill, into turn 12. It's a classic overtaking move, as we mentioned. Get a little bit of slipstream. It's not too much of a straight, but these are small bikes, and the slipstream
downhill as well.
Yeah, it's definitely highlighted, as we often see in Moto3 and Red Bull Rookies Cup and the Junior World Championship as well. The smaller bikes really do create more slipstream, or not create more slipstream, but the slipstream is a much more effect.
Yeah, it's a much bigger player in these smaller classes, like you say. There we go. So then Rossi Moore straight through back into the lead once again. Hosjuk then, I thought, like we said, we kind of expected him to, the way he was kind of looking when he arrived, looked like he was going to attack fairly quickly, but no, in the end he's just sitting there in 3rd, maybe feeling a little bit more confident now that he can stay with them. But this, what was a 3-rider fight fight for 6th then has now expanded somewhat, but it's still Nicholas Kitzbichler, the Austrian. They're in 6th place at the moment, and yeah, this is a good little scrap then, some interesting liveries, and there you could see the 56 of Kutzarek, who has already been on the podium, just losing a little bit of pace compared to the other guys he's shared that with. Now we're in the dry and at the Sachsenring, but still solid ride from him. Some good points will do him good in the standings as well, and shout out to Kevin Farkas as well, the German, doing a great job there. And Stefan Zuda, he's had some good rides before, kind of more what we'd expect from the number 23. And here we are then back at the front though. Looks like we've got a bit of daylight once again. Will it concertina back together? I need to stop using the word concertina.
Well, I think you're right, Fran, as we close in on the number 81 of Luciano. He's still got Gorecki, his main title rival, in his sights as he gets close to the back of Hostchoik, going up the hill, left-handed turn 10, will sweep into turn 11, the waterfall, and then we'll plunge down magnificent hill here in the Sachsenring, as again we see Rossi Moore take the lead at turn 12. Yeah,
and such confidence there. Just looks like it's the easiest thing in the world, doesn't he? I think I'd struggle to do that even on a light jog. But what are we going to see in this replay then? Is it going to be the elbow?
I think it is, you know.
Is it going to be the elbow? Yep, it's the elbow. So just a little calm down there, but yeah, these guys then, they need to just reset a little bit, I think. That was a little bit earlier in the race. But definitely, especially, we've still got 8 laps to go. That was even earlier, you know. It's not quite crunch time yet. Just everyone get back in the groove and just check each other's pace out. Oh, little bit deep there from Hostchuk, but he's made it work. He's made it work.
Yeah, Hostchuk going a little bit deep, but keeps P3 easy and happily as we come through the first sector. Still locked together, these leading 5 riders. The riders behind, like Beekman and Lucci and Hostchuk, are going to know where Gorecki and Moore are quick and where their strengths lie. That's one positive, as Hostchuk there got a really, really good run.
Yeah, he really did. You see him getting so much closer on the onboard.
I thought it was going to dive at the inside at the bottom of the hill, but not quite this time. But you could pretty much throw a blanket over the top 5 now. So yeah, like you say, Fran, it's not quite crunch time yet with 7¼ laps to go. But we're getting close as Luciano just runs onto the green there. Well, they've got to be careful.
Need to be a little bit careful of that number 81 then. I was wondering when Beekmans was going to make a move, because he's had a couple of moments where he's looked like he's tempted, but the number 68 then, the Dutchman, moved through, and he's going to move through for 3rd already. Great stuff then. Suddenly decided, okay, now's my time, I'm going. Let's just check. Yeah, all track limits were all nice and legal there for these guys. Let's see then, the number 68, maybe he's been sitting at the back of the group, just taking his time, seeing what everyone else is doing. But yeah, good stuff from him. Great to see him running at the front with such consistency in this race. Good experience for him as well, I think, racing these guys who've, other than Moore, consistently raced each other for the Northern Talent Cup podium.
Yeah, it's a really mature ride from the Dutch rider. He's finished inside the top 10 in every race this season. He's finished every race best of 5th at Le Mans in race 2 in the tricky conditions. So yeah, really, really strong ride from the number 68 rider, who's sitting in 4th place still.
I think he is. Yeah, he is still there. So he's, I don't know, man. I feel like Hostchuk's going to arrive and then just pass them and just really start to create some moves there at the front, and then he'll just lose out a few meters, and Gorecki and Moore just able to edge away once again. But Luciano, though, looks to be the man that's struggling the most. Well, not the most, as in he's suddenly miles behind, but you can certainly see a little bit of daylight there back to the number 81, but maybe down the hill it'll be able to close back up again.
Yeah, it sort of fans out in the opening couple of sectors, doesn't it? And then once we get towards up the hill, the slipstream comes into effect, and it all seems to, I'm going to use your word, and concertina's up.
Please, take it from me. Have it.
And yeah, Luciano needs to be careful, because like we've said, Gorecki is the title leader. There's 24 points separating them. He's latched onto the back here. Can he get some slipstream down the front straight? I think he will, as Gorecki also gets some slipstream. So does Hostchuk, who is going to lead into turn 1. I think it might be Gorecki. He's going to be late on the brakes. Yes, he is, but he's got the outside line. and he's a bit wide.
Is he going to manage it again? He's done the switch back on Moore a couple of times, but no, this time Hoschuk just too strong. He was a little bit deeper as well that time, Goretzky, wasn't he, than the move he's pulled on Moore. But yeah, it looks like Hoschuk, a little bit of a different customer than Rossi Moore then in turn one. Just like, no, it's definitely going to be me. So the Romanian then leads the race. Great stuff to see him back at the front after a bit of an up and down season so far. And I think he was on the podium here last year as well. So definitely knows his way around. But Goretzky and Moore, I don't know, are we going to see them able to move through again, or are they going to be content to sit behind the number 6 for a little while?
Yeah, Hoschuk was second here last year, Francie. You're dead right in,
he was, yeah, so,
in saying that.
Yeah, good stuff then again from the Romanian at the Sachsenring, and it looks like Luciano then has heard the hurry up slightly, right back on the back of this group. And, well, yeah, I was going to say he's not in the shot there, but yeah, some good progress then from the number 81, right back in the mix, and looks like he's pretty keen to move through again as well. But Beekmans, is he going around the outside there?
I think he is, you know. I think he is.
Is he going to get it stood up? Yeah, nowhere near track limits. Great stuff then from the number 68, and Rossi Moore then back in the race lead as well.
And all of a sudden, Goretzky's gone from P1 to P4. As we cross the line, 5 laps to go, and just behind him is his main title rival. So anything can happen here. We were talking about crunch time, Fran. I think with 5 laps to go, we're sort of getting to that stage now where everything matters as Goretzky runs very, very wide.
Yeah, that's definitely an error, running wide rather than just choosing that line to get that cut back. So yeah, slots back into 4th, so not too much harm done, collected it nicely. But it'd be interesting to see now what this man here that we're looking at from the onboard does, knowing as he will that is his main challenger at the moment, just ahead of him. So yeah, a bit of an error there from Goretzky, but still seemed very calm and controlled, didn't he, the Czech rider? Just, oh, I've gone deep, just nicely moved back in. So, oh, nice slow-mo then, around turns 10 and 11. So
yeah, fantastic shots.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? You can see almost one bike there fighting for 3rd until they really tip over again. Great stuff. Hope we've got some beautiful photos of this as well.
I'm sure we do. It's probably one of the most spectacular points on the whole calendar for me, as they flick it left and plunge downhill into turn 12, as we are right here with 5 laps to go. It really is. You can sort of get the vision from that camera angle, but as always, it doesn't really do it justice on TV. You've got to come here and see it for yourself. It really is a spectacular piece of tarmac.
Sorry to rub it in if you've not been to the Sachsenring, but it is genuinely, yeah, it's quite shocking almost, isn't it? It's like, you're the one that really, turn 1 at Austin, that really got me. It's like looking at a wall. It's crazy in real life. But yeah, so the waterfall, spectacular as ever, and these guys really putting in some great moves down there at the bottom of the hill as well. So Beekman's then looking a little bit like he's is he going to try that outside again? Not quite. Luciano then cuts straight through for the lead. I think it's the first time we've seen the Belgian lead in this race, is it not? So good stuff from him then. Maybe just been waiting for the final few laps to really make his mark. And this fight then once again at the moment is a duel. Now it's Kitzbühel versus Zuda. So yeah, just a little bit of a, again, I'm going to use it, concertina in this fight for the top 6. And as you can, they've made a bit of ground up there as well, half a second on the lead group. So that squabbling is costing the guys out front a little bit, but obviously quite a good gap they've got, so they can afford to have a good old battle. Yeah,
barring a little bit of a disaster at the front, these guys won't make it to the podium fight, but nevertheless a really, really strong ride from these riders, doing really well here around the Sachsenring. As we focus back on the lead group, and who was that being sat up? I think it was Beekmans. Yes, it was. He's just dropped down to 4th place. And we were talking about Luciano needs to keep an eye on Goretzky, Fran. It's now a switcheroo. Luciano's leading.
Completely.
And the number 59 Goretzky is in 5th place.
So maybe then the wily Belgian who has... Oh, yeah, there we go then. So I'll take back that wily Belgian. No, he's had some great racecraft, has Luciano, and probably then just been waiting it out and just now hitting the front and really starting to stretch his legs a little bit. But Goretzky responding immediately then to make up some ground. Now in 3rd place. Let's see what happens at turn 1. If he's maybe a little bit more conservative after that moment he had a lap ago, but I'm not sure. I wouldn't expect it too much. He's otherwise looked supreme round there.
Yeah, with 3 laps to go, I don't think any of these riders are now going to be conservative. We mentioned crunch time. This is crunch time. 3 laps to go. The lead 5 are all locked together. This is anyone's race. As you see there, the battle for first. This really is the battle for first. Currently being led by Rossi Moore. Luciano in second. Goretzky now up to third. Boschchoik fourth. And Vietmans in fifth. As we see the gap there, just extended to 10 seconds. So yeah,
it's gone back up a bit then.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Rossi Moore then back in the lead. You can see him and Goretzky seem to get a little bit lower, don't they? The real lean from those two guys. But Luciano, is he going to make the move? Nope, covered off there. And Goretzky just pops around into second again. So great stuff from the Czech rider. He's back on the tail of the number 92, as we've seen for a lot of this race. But yeah, it's some good stuff here in this front group. And once again, shout out to Kaz Beekmans staying with this podium fight. It looks like he's going to be there until the end of this race as well.
I think this is going to change a lot in the last 2.25 laps run as we enter turn 12 once more. Goretzky up the inside, late on the brakes, holds the apex, and he returns to P1. He was P5 a lap ago. He's carved his way through the pack, and now he's P1 as Luciano looks at the inside. Not quite this time, but we're going to cross the line with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, we are indeed. So not much time to run then in this race. And look, you can see that really cost Luciano a little bit out of the final corner. But is Moore, are we going to have a carbon copy then? Moore's going to go through. Is Goretzky going to try and do the same? Yep. Not enough room though this time, no. So the number 92 kind of wise to that tactic of just letting it flow around the outside and then cut back in front. So these guys still first and second. Luciano and Hoschuk then nearly side by side again. Get ready for some potential fireworks from them.
Yeah, things are going to start getting desperate now, aren't they? The riders know there's under 2 laps to go. We're coming round the first sector. We'll plunge down the hill. Goretzky sets the fastest lap of those guys. No surprise, he picked his way through the group from P5 to P1. Moore got him back into turn 1, P2, as he still holds the lead into the bottom of the hill. But this is where it's all going to change. They climb up the hill and then they're going to plunge down the waterfall, and undoubtedly we're going to see a move into turn 12 left-hander.
I think we will indeed, and this is the penultimate time we'll get a chance to see you on as well. So any dress rehearsals, lads, get ready, and let's see then. Oh, I think it's going to be Moore, to be honest, unless there's a real dive bomb from Luciano. But no, just rolls out of it there. He looked tempted to try and attack Goretzky, but slots back into third. So that's pretty interesting then, looking at the final lap, if we remain in a somewhat similar order.
Yeah, it was great defensive line from Moore, wasn't it? It didn't allow Goretzky or any of the riders behind to get a chance of moving up the inside. As he looks behind, he gets face full of 4 of the riders.
Yeah.
Got to get your head down,
they
look ahead.
They are still there.
Because we're on the last lap now.
We are indeed. So Goretzky then, all bit wide, but no, he manages to gather it together, the number 59. Really nicely done. And now it's Luciano, the man on his tail, as he is in the standings. I wonder if the Czech rider is aware of that. Probably not at this stage, but look then, he's really seemingly putting that hammer down. And they've also got someone with blue flags just up ahead, just to add to a bit of the drama on this last lap. Can Goretzky safely get through without losing too much time, because there is quite a gap there?
Yeah, all good, moving out of the way. I think that's
nicely done that.
But yeah, Goretzky's really pulled the pin on the last lap. He's got a good, well, it's saying a tenth of a second, but it's a lot more than that. It's creeping up towards about a second on the last lap. It's been excellent. 0.6 seconds there. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong time on the screen. But yeah, he's broken the slipstream now, and barring any disaster, he's probably going to hold into turn 12, hold into turn 13 and win the race. Predictions.
Let's find out. Here we go then. The number 59 losing out a bit of ground there, but still very much still in the race lead. And I think it's, I don't know, they are really gaining, but I think he's going to have this one in the bag, is he not?
Definitely.
Yep, here we go then, out the final corner. No dramas, no track limit dramas either. And Jakub Goretzky then, another race win for the incredible Czech rider on a real roll. Rossi Moore, first ever Northern Talent Cup podium. That promising pace that we saw in testing, finally then some good points for him. And Luciano in third, and there is that fight for 6th place, in the end won by Kevin Farkas. So really good job from the number 28, Kitzbichler, taking 7th. And yeah, so really good battle there. Sadly, we had the shot stolen a little bit by that podium fight, but looks like they had a great battle as well. This man though, Goretzky.
Oh, look at that. Fastest lap, new best race lap
on the final
last lap.
Absolutely love it.
Sensational.
He really was a controversial race. But a few years ago at Phillip Island, someone else decided to really wait until the final lap and then pull away, didn't they? And that turned into a win as well. Goretzky then, really, really impressive stuff from him. Nowhere near a one-trick pony with just that wet weather skill. We saw him really quick last year, and this year then so far, certainly on Sunday, he's the man to beat. But this man then, Rossi Moore, first podium in the Northern Talent Cup. That will feel pretty good, I imagine, after, pre-season testing. He's like the talk of the Northern Talent Cup town, on pole for Le Mans, and then so suddenly on the floor. Didn't know really why either. Really difficult conditions in that first ever race. Plenty of pressure after what he'd shown us as well at Oschersleben in that test, but on the podium, nicely done. 20 points, thank you very much. And this man, 16 points. But another solid ride, podium, consistency, and really great to see. Again, Luciano's racecraft pretty good as well. Seemed to hang back and then pull the pin. Just didn't quite have the same pace as Goretzky.
No, it was a really classy ride from all the riders, especially the leading 5. But that man on your screen, the number 59, he could have lost his cool when he slipped down to 5th place with 2 or 3 laps to go, but he didn't. Got his head down, picked his way through the crowd, got to the front, and then set the fastest lap of the race on the last lap of the race. Sensational. Now they are crossing the line. Your leading 5 riders split by 0.9 seconds. What a race we've just had in the Northern Talent
really
Cup.
good stuff. You see, pretty happy with that then. Yes. I mean, I think for him as well, when you've been so dominant in the wet, and then you line up on the grid for the first time, there's no rain, it's completely dry, you've taken pole again, you know you're quick, but it must be, it's a bit of a different feeling. But he does have that advantage that he's now extended in the points as well. So he could have afforded to really not put on that show on the final lap and really push it to that limit that he did, set that fastest lap. But no, it was another absolute masterclass in very different conditions. And I was going to say, there we are, number 81 in Parc Fermé. I was like, we're missing one. But no, just blending in a little bit to the carpet and the grey.
Great rides from all the podium finishers.
It is indeed. We'll have to see if Rossi Moore knows what he's doing now. He's not been up there before. New experience.
No experience, but hopefully the first of many. He'll be thinking more of the same.
I'm actually impressed it took that long for that pun to come out. And it's punned very much with love. So, there you can see a good few mosquitoes on the front of there. And, of course, the Jason sticker in memory of Jason Dupasquier, whose brother Brian Kim is not racing here this weekend, if you wonder why he's not on the grid. So nice to see the Northern Talent Cup all paying their respects on every single lap here, not just 1 or 2, and all of them as well. And there we can see some good sporting respect down in Parc Fermé as well. Some hugs there, cap on then. He looks like he's got it sorted, doesn't he, this podium lark?
Hopefully the first of many for these 3 riders. They've all shown very classy rides here on Saturday in the Sachsenring.
And if you're wondering why I'm still here and I normally go and do the podium, yes, this time I'm not. Here are the final results then. Jakub Goretzky, the winner, once again the Czech rider, and in the end over 4/10 back to Rossi Moore, but a first podium for him in second. Lawrence Luciano, Kaz Beekman's just off the podium, and Hoschuk, surprisingly, the man at the back of that quintet at the start, and then Farkas, Kitzbichler, Zuda, Kotzarek, be maybe a little bit disappointed with that 9th place, and then Tibor Varga completing the top 10. It's going way too quickly for us. And then you can see Rio Olofsson, who had rejoined, and Kimi Gunderman rounding out the finishers, and a few guys there that didn't finish this race, or a few who didn't start it as well. But certainly, good racing once again in the Northern Talent Cup, and many of them will be eager to get back out there to have another crack at it tomorrow. Here we go then. Man of the moment remains so. 120 points. He's now well over a race win clear at the top. Luciano remains second, 33 points down. Kotzarek then losing a bit of ground, but still third overall. And Famara as well, still 4th. So that's good news for them after a bit of a more difficult day. Beekman's now in 5th. Rossi Moore now in 6th. And good chunk of points for the Hungarian then. Hoschuk as well. He's made some progress. It's gone so quickly. Herlich moving up one as well after some better pace on home turf for him, coming 11th in the end, so that's good stuff. So the Liqui Motorrad Grand Prix Deutschland. First of all then, no home riders. First Belgian. And then in second we'll get the Hungarian out here. So it'll be a nice spread of flags today, won't it?
It's good to see in the Northern Talent Cup. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Giving
very much. And the man who's not left the top step for a while now. And we'll get the Czech national anthem once again here in the NTC. So then, first trophy, first given out trophy for third place. Looks pretty happy with that, does Lawrence Luciano. So another good race from him. And that's our good South African friend Brad Binder, I believe, behind those goggles. Nice to see the KTM guys once again on duty to give out the trophies. And the final one of those will be the winner's trophy for Jakub Gorecki. Can anyone stop him tomorrow? Or will we hear the Czech national anthem now for the first time of 2 this weekend in Saxony?
Und jetzt die Nationalhymne von Tschechien.
So we're making a habit of hearing that, haven't we, in the Northern Talent Cup, thanks to this man, Jakub Gorecki, once again on the top step. Super impressive stuff from him. And as you can see in the top left, there'll be another race tomorrow at 4:30. So a little bit earlier, kind of qualifying. No, sorry, an hour earlier than qualifying once again, so that'll be an interesting one. But some nice poses there. They'll look pretty happy with that.
And deservedly so. I think we're going to get some highlights, aren't we, Fran?
We are indeed. So here's where it all began then, those 18 crazy laps ago. As you can see, Gorecki, great start from pole. No dramas for him at all. And Luciano and Moore already dueling it out into turn 1. But it was the Hungarian who took second. We saw this incident, luckily low speed, bit chaotic, but no harm done. Riders okay. So yeah, all good. And then back at the front, Moore then and Gorecki really did duel, didn't they, for quite a few of these 18 laps of the Sachsenring. But then some other familiar faces getting in the fight as well. And the fight as well was, yeah, quite a spicy one between the 81 and number 6 of Luciano and Hostchuk. After we'd seen that contact, I think it was on the onboard, wasn't it? Looking from the rear of one of the guys just ahead. We saw a little bit of a poke, but yeah, good racing regardless. And this man then, number 92, first time on the podium, and also first time leading the race, like we said, since that crash in France. But some great moves and a really good group race.
Yeah, really, really quality race from all 5 of these riders. Can't count the comments. And then, yeah, heading on to the last lap, Gorecki grabbed the lead and then set the fastest lap of the race and won it on the last lap. This is the last lap, plunging down into turn 12. We saw plenty of overtaking down there. There's going to be more of the same tomorrow, hopefully. I'm sure there will be. But yeah, no one could catch the number 59, Gorecki, the title leader on the last lap. He rounded the final corner safely and soundly, took the checkered flag for a 4th win in a row.
Yeah, really impressive stuff, and he looks pretty happy with that as well. And then this is the fight for that top 6. Good stuff from those guys as well. Some great progress for a couple of people. And then it's Jakub Górecki then on top of the world. And we'll be back tomorrow with more.